Am I live? I'm live! Welcome back, people. Am I doing this sideways? Should it be like this? I hope that's not sideways for you guys. I am here today to test this TOMOS Flexer. Already sold, going to New York State. What we do is we make sure these bikes are running tip-top before we send them out into the world, because if you got a dealer in town, you know, you go to the dealer, they're gonna set you up, they're gonna make sure the bike is assembled correctly and safe and do all the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I need to sort of do before I send it out, because if I'm sending it out and it's far away, you might be frustrated. So we do it for you. We're like your online dealer. What does that include? Well, it includes a safety check, make sure everything is working properly, the lights, turn signals, air in the tires, and they hold air and all that stuff. You never know what happens in shipping. Remember, these bikes came from, during shipping, you know, stuff happens and things could get mildly damaged. So the dealer's responsibility is to make sure that the end user gets it in one piece. So that's what I'm doing. I put a little gas in it and I test ride it. In this case, I've already done so, but we'll turn it on so you can hear it purr. One kick. It's a one kick wonder. When they're, you know, when they're cold, you gotta use the choke. Ooh, too much choke. If there's anything a little different I'm doing to these bikes, I'm making sure that the oil injection works. Look down here. This is a system that we did not have in our run of bikes that we brought in. Why? That was deliberate. One, I was trying to make the bikes as cheap as possible. Thoughts on oil injection vary from person to person. I like it as an option for a consumer who sole purpose is to own a stock bike, ride a stock bike. It's usually fine. But if you ever have, you know, goals to go faster, the oil injection has to get yanked. And if there's any other reason why people don't like them, it's because they're afraid that they can fail. And they can, especially if there's a little bit of tinkering around with the consumer and they put things back the wrong way. A lot of things need to be precise on this style oil injection. The oil injection, here I'm gonna flip the screen so I can see. The oil injection gets mounted to this magneto cover. It's lined up. There's alignment pins throughout to make sure this is locked in perfectly, but it lines up with the magneto nut. And if this isn't put together correctly, maybe someone says, "Oh, I don't need this, alignment spacer," and they have it a little bit off. It's not gonna sit right, and it'll probably break. The lines themselves, you gotta be careful because they could get pinched. They're just little tiny lines, and if you put your side cover on with the line pinched, you're basically just choking it up. It happens all the time. I've definitely done it myself without realizing, and then you find out later. So you need to be careful. And then, of course, the last thing is that people forget, when you put oil in like once every 3 months, you forget to do it, and then you'll run the oil dry, and then you just break your bike that way. This bike's ready to go. Why do I have the turn signals bagged up? I'm just being a little bit lazy. I didn't want to install them just to uninstall them as soon as it goes, but you got to make sure they work. So, turn them on and make sure they work, and that's what I've done. Let's go inside. Let us go inside. I'm gonna push this bike into stage 2 of the packing experience after it's been test ridden and stuff. I actually did have to adjust the chain. I was not happy with its tension. It was super loose. I don't know how that happened. Once we are done, we bring it into the air-conditioned part of the factory, warehouse, whatever you want to call it, because it's just that much nicer in here. This is Florida. Whew! And Florida is just a humid mess. Although it is getting better because we are in the fall season. Just the finest pallet you could possibly purchase. This is actually a couple pallets, and I add this section so that the wheels have something to sit on, and there's a little bumper for when the shipping guys decide to just throw this into the truck. We don't want to get slammed. I also use my crane often to help hold it up while it gets strapped. I also weigh it. I actually weigh the whole thing so that I get a proper shipping quote. It's the right thing to do. No, maybe nobody cares about this, but this whole unit I got secondhand at this really cool, let's slide this down here. Turn that this way. Rideworks, property of Rideworks. This was like a guy who refurbished old carnival rides. He was closing down, relocating. I don't remember the story, but the place was big, and it was like from a horror film. You know, if you looked at it in the wrong light, just clowns and glossy things, and you know, rideable whales and horses, and it was all carnival themed. I was a little sketched out, but he sold this to me. And what is this? This is a well, it's like a strapping kit, and what we've used in the past is like nylon strap, which can break. But this stuff that's a steel band. It is very difficult to come apart. It's also difficult to put together, but the magic tool here is this guy. Oof, man, this thing is really, really cool. It's a ratcheting device. It grabs the band and it tightens it, you know. I don't want to make you guys dizzy, but it tightens it up, and then you throw in one of the steel clamps with the little clamper thing, and it holds so much weight. The guy was like, yeah, watch this. He like had a forklift, and he picked up something with the band alone, and it had to be like 1,000 pounds. Just lifted up 1,000 pounds with a steel band. It was like, that's pretty strong. Anyway, that's what we use now. We have had too many experiences where the nylon stuff broke and the bike ends up falling off the pallet. Can't have that. Steel band it is. Anyway, that's part of the process. If you haven't gandered at some of the other classics, this one is the sea green color. Teal, is that the right? I think it's sort of a sea green. I don't think that's teal. And then here's one of our motos in blue. A couple of black ones that are almost done. Waiting on some pieces. I have some other new thing here. New thing. Flipping the camera over. I updated the website. If you ever go to our website, you know, expecting an update, in the last year, you are sadly disappointed that nothing has changed in a long time, but that's okay. I've updated it this time. And it's got, our brand new stuff. I took these pictures. I don't know if you've seen some of the TikToks I put up, but we took these pictures right here. And of course we do Moto TOMOS. Went out into the Florida terrain in Bradenton and took some of these. Time to start decorating the office, says the Wandering Pacer. You are correct. Actually, I was just talking about that. I've got a couple of cool things to hang up, and I've just neglected to do so. It's time. Some of them are like reference posters that say like fractionals versus decimals. I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it. It also would look good for the videos. I guess that's the whole reason why. What else we got? Obviously our YouTube page, and if you're watching this, you know all about it. Look at these cool shots. You know what? I'm just a little proud, guys, because I took these myself. I'm not a photographer. Well, I guess I am. I'm learning the photography arts, but I have no training besides, you know, YouTube videos and stuff. Look at that with the blurry background. Oh, that was hard to do. Anyway, you can go check out the details yourself. Of course, the Patreon's up there. And I actually added some tiers. The T-shirt club, which is pretty, somebody suggested this. And someone says, a giveaway? A giveaway? I'm gonna think about it. And I do wanna do a giveaway when we reach 10,000 subscribers. We're not really there yet. I think I'm like at 8,000 and a half or something like that. So, you know, it's not gonna happen tomorrow, but the 10,000 subscriber giveaway is a for sure. Just when is that gonna happen? Check out the website. I'm gonna do some more updates on the website later today because I just got to the main page. I didn't get to, like, you know, the Moto page, and I haven't listed the new TOMOS imports yet. But you know, that's why I'm updating all that stuff. I just have to do it. So, oh, here's the chat button, guys. I found it. I'm gonna go through the chats and see if you guys ask me any questions. Thomas, who said the giveaway, also says, but let me win. Oh, I see where you're going with that. Clever. If you remember our last giveaway, fairness is, you know, #1 priority. We literally, you know, Excel sheeted every name and cut it out in little squares and then pulled out of a hat. I mean, I'm sure there's a digital way to do it, but I thought, you know, that way would be more funny. I know you're making motos out of flexor frames. What are you going to do if you exhaust your supply? Asked by Ken Thomas. That is a good question. We still have 32 more frames in stock. That includes the wheels, forks, 32 of all that stuff. There is some things we are missing that I need to get my hands on. Swing arms is one of them. But I have dialogued with some of the TOMOS guys still in Slovenia, and they have some of this stuff for purchase. I really like the live videos. I think they're fun, and it's a great way to get something out there lickety split without spending months and months, not months and months, but weeks editing. We're still gonna do videos, and the new game plan, if I haven't said it before, is to cut back the long format, the 20-minute videos, and bring it down to shorter ones, but bring them out every week. And Alex and I are working on that together to make that happen. On the live stuff, the phone thing, it's not that great. The quality is meh, and there's disconnection problems, so we're investing in sort of combining equipment that I already have into a legitimate live streaming setup. There's like bulkiness involved with this. The phone is the most compact and nice, you know, way to do this, because look, it's just in my hand. But once you start using the real camera, like my big camera, it needs to be connected to a laptop, and you know, how do you do all that? Well, I don't know yet, but it includes a tripod, and I have one now. The Wandering Pacer moved the Wi-Fi router into the office. It is in the office, it's right here. I mean, I guess it's on the other side of a wall, but it's not far. There's no reason why I should be losing connection. Anyway, I got this massive tripod. My goal is to put this on wheels. So I have a mobile station. It'll be draped with the computer and the camera and whatever I need to capture some serious live streaming. Now, why is that important to me? Well, I feel that the only thing really nice about the live stream in my arena is the mobility of the live streaming, like coming into the workshop and then going into the front on the streets and then coming into the warehouse and doing all that stuff, moving around. It would be boring if it was just me sitting in front of a camera in my office talking like every other live streamer. Like anybody else is doing live streaming, they're just talking to the camera. And I mean, I have a little bit just a little bit higher expectations than that when it comes to doing anything. If you do something, do it the right way. At least I have a vision. So a mobile live stream station using a real camera and getting good connection is the goal. I don't know if this is the last time I'm using the camera, but it might be one of the last times because we're already working on it. Any other questions? Do it the TOMOS way. Well, the TOMOS way would be try and then fail. Well, that's not me. That's not me. That's the TOMOS way. The right way to do it is the Pete Diadio way, which is do it right the first time. What is the best way to get a TOMOS? Well, if you want one of the TOMOSes that I have, which are fantastic, just send me an email for now because they're going to be on the website, except, you know, I've had so much interest in them, I haven't even had a chance to put them on the website. So email me, mopedproblems@gmail.com. I'll tell you all the stats, the data, the costs. We'll set it up. I accept PayPal, and that's that. And I get you one of these. Could ship anywhere in the U.S., although maybe not Hawaii or Alaska. Anywhere else besides those two places, it's not a problem. What is the limited run on those latest TOMOS not in production? Well, yes, this was a limited production. I'm sure when these were made, they were made in bulk, but this is just what's left. I had purchased 13 TOMOSes and one Benelli scooter, 14 bikes altogether. The Benelli is here and all put together. I actually wanted to do one more thing. I got one little thing to do the carb, and then this is really, really good to go, but what's left? I've sold 5 TOMOSes so far, so what does that bring me? Down to 8. There's 8 TOMOSes left. I think a couple of flexers and maybe 2 blues and 2 green. Actually, I don't know the number, but I have a couple of each at least. So, you know, I'm not sold out of any specific color yet, so everything is still available. If you want in, let me know, because they're gonna go. What's the fastest moped you ever made and top speed? Well, I have a video on this, but it's an older video, and I've updated it 3 times and have never concluded it. It's one of those personal projects that, you know, gets put on the back burner. But my Peugeot 103 is the fastest bike that I made. I have GPSed it many, many times at 55 miles an hour. And I know people go faster nowadays, but at the time, it was pretty fast. I mean, this is going back 8 years ago. Not too many people were doing more than 55 at that time. And I haven't really gave it a stab anytime recently. You know, when I started the shop and got into building bikes for other people, my mindset was always, you know, make the customer happy. And what made them happy the most was a bike that would always run and wouldn't explode on them. That was generally what made their happiness level at its peak. Obviously, everyone wants something. They want the impossible. A customer wants the impossible. They want something that's compact, so they could put it in their pocket, which is impossible. They want it to go really, really fast, 60, 70 miles an hour, which is, you know, a far-fetched of an idea, and they want to do it for hundreds and hundreds of miles. These things are impossible, but the closest thing I could do is, you know, get them a moped that doesn't blow up and goes around 40 miles an hour, and that seems to make everybody happy. That's what we did for many, many years, and it was, you know, a couple of techniques and parts that I trusted time and time again, and that's what I did, and we did a lot of that. So for going fast, I say all that to say, for going fast, I really only made one fast bike, and it was for myself, and it was that Peugeot 103. and it was pretty great. If I was to recommend a Peugeot, I wouldn't really. They're very, very simple, which is great. My biggest qualm with them is that they're hard to start. And then when that comes to, again, customer happiness levels, that needs to not be a thing. It needs to be easy to start or people get frustrated. It was hard to start with all the performance parts on there. With stock, they're not hard to start, but for all performance parts, they're impossible to start. I'm gonna head back into the AC area because I'm sweating, and also the internet connection might be just that much better. Someone said their stream rate goes 55. I believe you. Here's the thing with TOMOS's and trying to break the speed limits is that you can gear them out. You can. There's room for really, really tiny sprockets on the back, and grinding the case down and getting big sprockets in the front and really, really getting there. But you lose a lot of bottom end, and again, I'm thinking city life. I'm thinking city life. You live in the country and you're just going, you could, take a long time to get going and then hit that power band and soar at 55, 60 miles an hour. I know it's been done, but in the city, there's too many stop signs and stoplights for that sort of noise. So, we always geared our bikes for excellent acceleration, topping at 40. It was sort of what made sense at the time. But yes, TOMOS's can go if you gear them. The thing with my Peugeot, though, that's why I like this, is that it still ripped off the line and also 155. So that was a little bit of a difference. Planning on trips to Slovenia. Well, yeah, I want to. I wanted to do that this year. I had two situations that was bringing me to Slovenia to buy a horde of used mopeds, but it all got screwed up because of COVID. Surprise, surprise. I'm gonna leave the door open for some light. So the plans got scrapped, but am I gonna go, next year? I'd like to. I'm only hesitant to say absolutely in case this COVID thing, just doesn't go away, or at least the stigmas of it all, because, a year from now, it might still be here, but, things change, I hope so. We'll see. Next question. There's a lot of questions. I like this. Are you going to do more video about the fast moped in Brooklyn? Well, right, about my Peugeot. Yeah. I do want to conclude that series. A fourth, maybe a fifth video. And again, getting back into our new direction for videos and doing less, 20-minute vlogs and doing shorter, topic videos. That is 100% what I want to do, and the Peugeot should fall into that category. The only thing is that, since it's a personal bike, it doesn't take priority. I got lots to do, and other people are just, I got to focus on getting the bikes made and shipped out. So, but I do plan on doing it. I do. What do you recommend people just getting into mopeds to keep in mind? Price-wise versus expectations. Well, if you're just getting into mopeds, I'm gonna stereotype you and say you're looking for something affordable. Why would you spend top dollar if you don't know what you're getting yourself into? That's a stereotype, but I'm gonna hold to it. And you're gonna buy a used bike. Totally fine. There are techniques and things you should know before you go buy a bike, because if there's anything that's very real about buying a bike, it's that people are trying to sell their problems and make money in the process. A big no-no. It happens. Don't be one of those people that get suckered for a problem. And there's a couple things you should know. Covering them all right now would be, irresponsible. But I'll give you a couple tips, and then I'll give you one more recommendation, because I did a video called How to Buy a Moped Sight Unseen, or something like that, and I very much do this. I go with Scott, we buy 2 Pooks, seemingly, parked, ran when parked, yeah. But, the truth in the situation is so different when you get there. And one of the bikes was okay, and I was able to spend just an hour to get it running, and we drove that bike home, which was the goal. The goal was to drive 2 bikes home, but the second bike was seized from sitting. So that's the sort of thing you need to be careful when you buy secondhand, because people might take advantage of you, or maybe they don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, I ran my parked, it's sat for 2 years, it's probably fine, and it's not fine. You gotta know how to test the bikes enough to see if they're seized. You wanna check the gas tank, you wanna make sure it's not rusted through, or if there is some rust, that's okay, but if it's like a lot of rust, you need to, prepare yourself for the inevitable, which is you gotta clean that stuff out. Maybe it needs a sealer. If you buy the bike for cheap enough, it doesn't really matter, because any moped's worth $100, even if it's seized. But if you're spending like $800 on a seized bike, you're getting shifted. So don't do that. I might make a video covering all of the details that I would look for, but that video, Buy a Moped Sight Unseen, that's a good one. One of my favorites, actually. It was really fun to shoot that. And it was sort of a challenge. Moshi bought one of my Flexers. He rode it. He loves it. And he picked up a shot and a pipe. Well, awesome. That's exactly what you should do to that bike. I was saying there's tiers for going fast. And, the carb and pipe that's like the first tier, and then you could do more and more. Kits would be like further down the line, but just those 2 things, like a good pipe, a slightly bigger carburetor, geared correctly. The gearing on that, by the way, is different than our American bikes. It already has a pretty small sprocket in the back, and they go pretty quick out of the box. Actually, the Flexer that I just tested today was doing like 35, and I did nothing to it. So I mean, they're definitely like geared to go already. But yeah, you should be able to break 40 with a pipe and a carb, no problem. And I love those mods. Those are really great. Kits are also fun, but it only makes things more complicated. Gotta be prepared for it. Will I go back to New York? Asked by Domin. I've already been back. And that video is gonna come out soon. I go down memory lane. I see the old shop in Maspeth. And it's not a moped shop anymore, obviously. It's now something else. I almost cried. Furthermore, I went to the original moped shop in Brooklyn off of Broadway, just because I was rolling by and I wanted to see what that place is like now. Almost cried again. And I finish off at the new Second Stroke, which was closed for COVID. So, but I do go to New York, and you'll see it. I have a really fun time hanging out with Scott and a couple of people who came by the new Second Stroke. We were just sitting on the sidewalk and had some laughs. It's going to be a short but sweet video coming up soon. I also got to hang out with some of my old pals, the guys at the old shop. We got beer afterwards at a bar that had outdoor seating. It was fun to see the guys. Zach, Drew, Scott was there, Alex was there. It'll all be there in the video. And when am I gonna go back? It's hard to get up to New York right now, but my plan is to go back every like 2 or 3 times a year, preferably in the spring, summer, and fall. So I'm probably not going to go back until spring. Where are you living now these days? I thought you were still in old New York City. No, Mark, I'm not. I'm gone. I'm in sunny Florida now. Because we moved the shop down here for many, many reasons. One of them is that I've been in New York City for 13 years. I had my fair share. It sucked me dry. It just, I've also had a couple kids now, and I want to raise them outside of the city, as well as I knew this moto project was going to be something I needed to, diverge all of my time in, and I needed to leave the city, find a cheap place. Florida is much cheaper, way cheaper than New York, and focus on this thing, because this is what I want to do. I want to build bikes, I want to build motos, the electric bikes. Bring in TOMOS's. I mean, I didn't even have that as the plan yet, but I knew that's what I was going to do, and I did. I'll do it again. That's why I'm here, to get out of the city and to do what I want to do for much cheaper. That's why. But we're gonna keep on building up the company. It's not gonna just be me forever. I already have a new employee. I'm working on another new fabricator. Sabat is back in Portland now, so I need somebody to replace his his skill set. I expect he'll come back when we are at the assembly stage, but all of the parts making, we do make a lot of the parts here. Plasma cut, fabricate, weld, sent out to powder coat. My next plan is to do all of the parts for the next 32. So we're gonna be 100% in stock of everything for 32 units, and then we'll start assembling. The comments are getting strange, guys. They're either in languages I don't understand, they're emojis, or they're asking to see me shirtless, and I will have none of any of that. So I'm gonna call it a day. Thank you for watching. Look forward to more videos more consistently, and that's that's the plan. And better live streaming. That's the goal. Better live streaming. The rig's coming. We're gonna use the nice camera, and I don't know. That's what we're gonna do. All right, take care, everybody. This is Pete from Second Stroke Mopeds. Don't forget about mopeds. We'll see you next week. Probably more next week than ever, because we're going to be bringing these things out. Cheers.